Hi, everybody. My name is Ellen. I'm coming to you from V2, which is a teen program in North Georgia. This is our mindfulness room, and we're really big on mindfulness here at our teen program. It's something that we incorporate into a lot of what we do and into a lot of our activities. I want to take a second. So this is going to be a little different from my other videos. I want to talk about what mindfulness is, and when we have a new group of youth come in, how we explain what mindfulness is to them so that they kind of understand a little bit better. And if you're someone who's new to mindfulness, maybe this would help you as well to kind of understand our interpretation of what mindfulness is and how it can help folks. So when youth come in, I basically say a little story, which is that way back in maybe 2015, when our program was kind of 2-ish years into being an after school or year-round type program for youth, we were noticing that youth were really struggling. They were struggling with feeling anxious and feeling nervous. They were struggling with feeling sad. It's really hard to be a teen. And we feel that even now it's harder than it's been for generations and generations, both with the advent of social media, and the constant access to news and doom scrolling. And there's a lot of reasons why it's difficult to be a teen today, maybe even more uniquely so than it was for generations past. We noticed that this was an issue, and we didn't know really what to do about it. We were just seeing that as youth were coming in and we were learning a little bit more about them, that they were going up and up and up in the Georgia Student Health Survey, as well as in-house data collection, that mental health for youth was kind of increasing in those negative aspects, more anxiety, more depression, more instances of feeling hopeless. So we wanted to do something about this. And so we decided that we were going to go after mindfulness as a way of giving youth another tool for their toolbox. Okay. So if you're someone who struggles with feeling nervous or going to sleep or staying asleep, this is a tool, not the magic potion, but a tool to add to your toolbox. That's what mindfulness is. So what I like to do is when youth come in, I say, have a look at my board here. I made this years ago. This is a board that has a lot of different words on it. The first thing I like to do is relate mindfulness back to youth. And so I say, have a look at this board. Don't raise your hand. Just look, because when you're in a group, you may not want to share that this is something you're struggling with, but see if anything on this board resonates with you. Just notice if you relate to any of these words, maybe issues with self-esteem, or maybe you've got issues paying attention or going to sleep at night. What is this board? Well, this is something that I made based on research that I found about mindfulness and teens specifically. So this is not a board that I said, man, teens are really struggling with this stuff, and wouldn't it be great if mindfulness helped? I went and I researched what positive outcomes practicing mindfulness regularly had for youth. So let me just explain this a little bit. Mindfulness research shows, and the research is still pretty new, it's something that we're learning and collecting more information about every year, but mindfulness has shown to be helpful for some youth with their sleep if they're feeling tired. That practicing mindfulness can help you go to sleep and stay asleep and have more restful sleep. It can help folks feeling stressed to be more relaxed. It can even help with symptoms of ADHD. Now, it's not a cure-all for ADHD, just another tool to help with symptoms of ADHD. And again, it might be something that you have to explore. What specific strategies with mindfulness might help if this is something that you struggle with? Help people feel more calm. It can help boost youth self-esteem. It can help with feelings of anxiety and depression. It can help with social skills if you're someone who struggles with drama, the anger and other emotions, just understanding them better. Mindfulness helps with that. Does any of that resonate with you? Does any of this, you go, oh, yep, that's me. Then mindfulness can help you. But what if you're somebody who's like, I've got it going on. I don't need help with any of this. I feel great. I have no issues. Guess what? Mindfulness is for you too. Mindfulness is for everyone. That's what I love about mindfulness. Mindfulness is not for a specific type of person, or someone who's struggling, or someone whose family makes a certain amount of money. Mindfulness is something everyone can practice, but it might look different for you than it would for somebody else, because you might be someone who needs to do a lot of movement with their mindfulness versus someone else who wants to do more sitting still and breathing. What we do here at V2 is we do a lot of different mindfulness and we touch on a lot of categories. So you'll notice in our videos, we have a lot of breathing videos. Breathing is one category that we do a lot of different breathing activities because the breath is so important. When you're calming yourself down by taking deeper, longer breaths, then you're sending a message back up to your brain that you're safe and you're calm, right? So the breath is really important for getting yourself into a mindful state, connecting your body back to your brain and sending a message back up to the brain. Ah, I'm safe and I'm calm. Because it works both directions. The brain communicates down to the body, but the body talks back up to the brain. The breath is a great way to settle into that. Okay. So we do a lot of breathing stuff here. Now I have some people, they're like, oh, I hate deep breathing. People tell me to take a breath all the time. When I get worked up, they say, why don't you just take a couple of deep breaths? That doesn't work for me. Listen, I say this example to my youth when they say this to me. Think about running a marathon, okay? A marathon is like 26 miles, right? If you said, I'm going to go run a marathon and you go run for 30 minutes one day, and you're like, all right, that was enough practice. I'm now ready to run a marathon. What's going to happen? Well, you're probably not going to complete your marathon. You're probably going to get really, really tired and exhausted. You could even hurt your body because you're not trained up for it. The same thing is true for mindfulness. If you want to have breath be something you can use to calm yourself down, then you have to teach your body and your brain that breath is a way to calm ourselves. And you do that through practice. Just like anything else, you've got to sit and practice it enough times to where it becomes natural and normal. That way, when you take that first breath, your brain goes, oh, yes, I know what we're doing. We're calming down. Ooh. But that takes time. It takes practicing, which is why you have to find the right strategy for you. If you're someone who really needs to see the Hoberman sphere expanding and contracting, then do that. We also have drumming breath, or if you want to do like a belly breath or a chest breath, find the one that works for you and practice every day, even if you're not feeling overwhelmed, even if you're feeling great. Take some time to take a few deep breaths. You're going to create new pathways in your mind because guess what? The brain can change. Even after it's done developing at 25 years old, the brain can still change. When we breathe, we teach ourselves to make new pathways that go, oh, this is how I calm down. So you got to give it a shot. If you tell me deep breathing doesn't work, but you've tried it exactly one time, come on, you've got to work towards it and give it a good shot because breath really does help. The other thing that we do is we work here with our youth on attention and focus. So if you're somebody who gets distracted easily, and that's literally everyone because we have phones handy all the time that are constantly pinging and having notifications. We live in a really overstimulating world. So constantly our attention is being demanded a bunch of different ways. Mindfulness helps us to regain control over our attention and focus that attention and not be subject to all the things demanding our attention. We remain in control. So we do a lot of activities with that, with our mindfulness. Another thing we talk about is mental wellness. We talk about anxiety, we talk about sadness, we talk about anger, and really dive into emotions. And I give folks specific strategies. You can see my sadness posters back here. I give folks specific strategies to address those. I say, when you're feeling sad, here are some mindful things you can do. When you're feeling anxious, it's over here. That's my anxiety poster. I tell people, when you're feeling anxious, here's some grounding techniques that you can do. Same with anger. When you're feeling really overwhelmed and upset, well, that needs something different than sadness does, right? So we go into that. I do incorporate some mindful movement because some folks are like, please don't make me sit still. I'm such a fidgety person. I'm such a hyperactive person. I must move. Guess what? Mindfulness doesn't have to be something where you sit still and do it. You can practice mindfulness by mindful walking. You can practice mindfulness by doing some yoga. You can actually practice mindfulness anywhere because what is mindfulness? I haven't given you a definition yet. Mindfulness is paying attention on purpose to the present moment without judgment. That's kind of a fuzzy definition of like, what does that mean? Well, basically just being here now and allowing whatever's happening to happen within you. Okay. So not trying to shove away negative thoughts or shove away negative emotions, letting them go by. We do a lot of that too, where we just watch thoughts and notice them and we don't get attached to them and we don't try to run away from them. We just let them go by. I do a beautiful meditation where we sit and we watch them go by like they're cars on a road, or you watch them float by like they're clouds in the sky, or like a balloon that we release. That's what we do instead of just getting overwhelmed by our thoughts or becoming absorbed in our thoughts or identifying too much with our thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts. We just let them go on by. So that's another thing that we do. And then the last thing we do is we talk a lot about brain and the neuroscience, how the brain is changing as teens are going through this really cool kind of transformation in their brains. So that's something else that we bring in a lot. We help them understand fight or flight and how the brain is designed with a 15,000-year-old operating system. Our brain has not had an upgrade since we were cavemen, okay? But we're cavemen living in a world with internet and social media and phones. Our brain is not adapted to that. So how do we confront the world we live in with this same kind of operating system that we've had for a long time? So that's where we tie that into. Mindfulness is so important, and it's something everyone can do. It's just a way to bring ourselves back into the moment. It's a way for us to become aware of our feelings, label our emotions, not become owned by them or identify too much with them. They're just things that we have. We talk a lot about how emotions are like weather. The weather is never going to stay the same forever. It will change. And so what feeling do you have today? It's like, what weather is going on inside of you right now? It's a weather report. And I ask them to share if they like, and a lot of them will be like, I feel sunny or I feel rainy. And just knowing that whatever weather you have going on is okay and it will pass and something else will come, because that's what weather is. It's always changing. So that's our approach to mindfulness. I hope that you will check out some of our videos for some specific mindful tools and activities that we use to touch on some of those categories. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I really hope to see you joining us on some of those other videos. Thanks so much.